SUVs were never meant to go this fast, yet here we are, in 2025, where family haulers outpace yesterday's supercars, powered by fire-breathing V8s, hybrid wizardry, or sheer mechanical insanity. These aren't just fast SUVs, they're feats of engineering, proof that practicality can wear racing shoes. Today, we reveal the top 10 best SUVs for speed enthusiasts in 2025. And wait till you see number 1. It bends the laws of physics while you sip coffee in the driver's seat. Number 10. Audi SQ8 Performance, the quiet assassin. At first glance, the 2025 Audi SQ8 Performance doesn't scream for attention. It whispers power and control. A sleek silhouette, big blacked-out grille, and 22-inch alloys tucked under muscular arches hint at what's beneath, but never boast. This is not a shouty SUV. It's calculated, sharp-dressed performance. Step inside, and you're met with Audi's unmistakable blend of technology and luxury. Valcona leather wraps every surface with a touch that feels both rich and functional. The carbon fiber trim is so subtly woven that it only catches the light when the sun hits it just right. Not flashy, just tastefully assertive. The pièce de résistance? Audi's virtual cockpit. The high-definition digital instrument cluster doesn't just show your speed, it immerses you in a cockpit that feels like science fiction made real. Under the hood, the SQ8 houses a 4.0-liter twin turbocharged V8, tuned to produce about 500 horsepower. That might not be the wildest figure on this list, but what sets the SQ8 apart is how it delivers. It's a linear surge, clean and confident, propelling its 2.3-ton body from 0 to 60 in just 4.3 seconds. The experience is smooth but commanding. Cornering is another surprise. With adaptive air suspension and rear-wheel steering, the SQ8 feels smaller and more agile than it should. It stays flat in corners, tight in transitions, and balanced under pressure. It feels engineered. A hidden gem lies in the sound design. Audi engineers implemented a unique sound actuator in the exhaust. It produces a rich, bass-heavy growl when under load but fades into silence during highway cruising. No drone, no fatigue, just tailored acoustics. Switch to dynamic mode, and the SQ8 sheds its suit and tie for driving gloves. The steering weights up, the exhaust opens, and the throttle sharpens. It's the quiet assassin. Not the wildest ride, but perhaps the most mature. And just when you think you've experienced refinement, an Italian firecracker enters the scene. 9. Maserati Grecale Trofeo, the Italian firecracker. Maserati doesn't do half measures, and the 2025 Grecale Trofeo is proof. Compact in stature but colossal in spirit, it's the kind of SUV that makes you grin before you've even touched the ignition. Start it up and you're greeted with a growl that's more animal than machine. That's the Nettuno V6 Singing, a 3.0-liter twin-turbo unit derived from the MC20 supercar. It's raw, emotional, and absolutely unapologetic. With 530 horsepower on tap, the Grecale Trofeo sprints to 60 miles per hour in just 3.8 seconds. Fast enough to snap heads and steal breath. Inside, it's every bit Italian luxury, and then some. You're wrapped in leather that looks hand-stitched by a boutique Milan atelier, with contrast stitching that speaks of heritage, not fashion trends. The central touchscreen floats above a real analog clock, a nod to Maserati tradition in an otherwise tech-forward interior. Every detail in the cabin exudes passion. The gear paddles are long, metallic, and mounted to the column, not the wheel, giving every shift a mechanical, satisfying click. And the seats? Rear seats are roomy enough for real-world practicality, but shaped to hug like sports buckets. Even your kids feel like co-pilots. Maserati engineers leaned into the drama. The turbo blow-off valve is intentionally loud, producing a sharp psht every time you lift off the throttle. It's not a flaw, it's a feature. The Trofeo isn't trying to hide its soul, but don't mistake it for chaos. The chassis is composed, the all-wheel drive system intuitive, and the ride supple enough for everyday use. It's the kind of vehicle that begs to be driven, not just to the office but through tunnels at full throttle, windows down. The Grecale Trofeo is not the most powerful, not the fastest, but it might just be the most fun. And now, from Italian passion, we step into British royalty with a taste for speed. Number 8. Bentley Bentayga Speed, power in pinstripes. Imagine an English gentleman, sharp suit, calm demeanor, voice like silk. Now imagine that gentleman doing 180 miles per hour on the Autobahn, powered by a hand-built W12 engine. That's the 2025 Bentley Bentayga Speed, refinement and fury wrapped into one absurdly fast package. On the surface, the Bentayga Speed is everything you expect from Bentley: regal, polished, and deeply luxurious. The exterior design is elegant, with subtle aerodynamic tweaks, a tasteful rear spoiler, and massive 22-inch wheels. It doesn't need to shout. It already knows it's the fastest SUV to ever emerge from crew. Under its sculpted hood lies a masterpiece: Bentley's 6.0-liter twin-turbocharged W12 engine. It's a legend that delivers 626 horsepower and over 660 pound-feet of torque. That means 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds, in an SUV that weighs well over 5,400 pounds. The sensation is surreal. One moment you're gliding down the motorway, the next you're pushed back into your diamond-stitched leather seat like you've hit warp speed. Speaking of seats, the interior is a cathedral of craftsmanship. From the Mulliner quilted leather to the real wood veneers and knurled aluminum details, every inch is customizable. A Breitling clock sits proudly in the center of the dash, not because it needs to be there, but because it should. But don't let the wood and wool fool you. The Bentayga Speed is no softie. The Bentley Dynamic Ride System uses 48-volt active anti-roll bars to keep this beast composed in corners. It doesn't just go fast in a straight line, it handles with poise. And when you finally tire of speed, switch to comfort mode. The exhaust hushes, the suspension softens, and it glides in near silence. A true duality: velvet gloves, iron fists. Yet while Bentley leans on tradition, AMG offers something a bit more explosive. Number 7. Mercedes-AMG GLE 63S Coupe, German sledgehammer. If the Bentayga is a gentleman, the 2025 Mercedes-AMG GLE 63S Coupe is a street brawler in a tailored tracksuit. Loud, aggressive, and brutally fast, with just enough polish to keep it classy. Its heart is a 4.0-liter twin-turbocharged V8, backed by a mild hybrid EQ boost system. Total output: 603 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque. The result? 0 to 60 in a blistering 3.7 seconds. That's muscle car territory in a lifted luxury coupe. Visually, it's unmistakably AMG. The wide Panamericana grille dominates the front end, flanked by aggressive intakes and sleek LED lights. The sloping coupe roofline flows into a beefy rear with quad exhaust tips, each one ready to bark. Step inside, and you're wrapped in performance luxury. AMG sport seats hold you tight with Alcantara accents and contrast stitching. Twin 12.3-inch displays span the dashboard under a seamless glass panel, giving you real-time performance data and futuristic navigation. Choose between carbon fiber or open-pore wood trims. Customize ambient lighting to match your mood. And toggle through drive modes: slippery, comfort, sport, sport plus, and race, each transforming the GLE's personality. The showstopper? Launch control, known here as race start. Press the buttons, plant your left foot on the brake, your right on the gas, and the GLE squats like a predator. Release the brake, and it launches with a snarl. It's not just fast, it's visceral, but it's not all rage. In comfort mode, the air suspension smooths out the road, the V8 calms down, and the GLE becomes a plush cruiser. It's a dual personality machine, beast on demand, commuter when needed. Still, if you think that's wild, wait until you meet America's answer to speed. Number 6. Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk HPE 1000, American absurdity. The regular Trackhawk is already ridiculous, a Jeep with 707 horsepower and a snarling Hellcat engine. But Hennessy Performance saw that and said, "Let's double down." The result? The HPE 1000 package, a 6.2-liter V8 supercharged to deliver nearly 1,000 horsepower. The numbers are staggering: 0 to 60 in just 2.9 seconds. Top speed? Over 180 miles per hour, all in an SUV that can still go off-road and tow your boat to the lake. It looks deceptively normal. Aside from the discreet HPE 1000 badging and optional carbon fiber hood vents, it could pass for any other Grand Cherokee at first glance. Until you hear it. The supercharger whine dominates, even over the roaring exhaust. It's like a banshee scream over thunder, and it never gets old. Inside, it's traditional Jeep, rugged but upgraded. Leather sport seats with deep bolsters, red seatbelts for flair, Uconnect infotainment, simple, responsive, familiar. But nothing about this SUV is really normal. Launch it hard, and the front lifts slightly, like a muscle car. Corners? Well, it'll do them, but that's not the point. It's fast in a straight line, dangerously fast, and it's hilarious while doing it. It gulps fuel, shakes at idle, and growls like it wants to fight. But if you want absurd American horsepower in a family-size package, nothing beats it. We've seen restraint, elegance, and raw insanity so far. But the top 5? They bend performance into something unrecognizable, where SUVs feel like supercars. Up next, Porsche shows the world how to build an SUV that can hunt on the track. Number 5. Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT, the track hunter. Precision, control, purpose. These are the values Porsche lives by, and nowhere is that more apparent than in the 2025 Cayenne Turbo GT, an SUV engineered to do more than just go fast. It's designed to humiliate sports cars on their home turf, the racetrack. Powering this beast is a 4.0-liter twin-turbocharged V8, generating about 650 horsepower. The 0 to 60 sprint, a blistering 3.1 seconds, but raw numbers are just the opening act. What makes the Turbo GT special is its ability to maintain poise and composure at the limit. This is not a blunt instrument, it's a scalpel. Every corner is a revelation. The steering is razor sharp, weighted, communicative, precise. Porsche's active roll stabilization keeps the SUV eerily flat through even the tightest switchbacks. It doesn't feel like you're driving an SUV, it feels like you're behind the wheel of a 911 on stilts. Inside, the experience continues. Alcantara wraps nearly every surface, from the flat-bottom steering wheel to the aggressively bolstered front seats. There are carbon fiber trim pieces, contrast stitching, and subtle yellow accents, visual cues that this Cayenne means business. One standout feature is the titanium exhaust system. Not only does it save weight, but it also delivers a bark that evolves into a deep, thunderous howl as you climb the revs. There's no synthetic nonsense here, just mechanical music. Even the aerodynamics are track-tuned. In Sport Plus mode, a rear spoiler automatically extends to add downforce. Combine that with the low ride height, aggressive stance, and massive brakes, and what you get is an SUV that can tear up a track day and still take your family on vacation the next morning. Practical? Absolutely. Predictable? Never. The Turbo GT is Porsche's love letter to drivers who won't settle for fast enough. But if the Cayenne is surgical, the next SUV is chaos in carbon fiber. Number 4. Lamborghini Urus Performante, the Bull Unleashed. If the Porsche is a blade, the Lamborghini Urus Performante is a sledgehammer wrapped in Alcantara. Subtlety? Not in this machine's vocabulary. From the second you see it, angry lines, snarling grille, carbon fiber vents. You know it's built for one thing: mayhem. Under the hood lies a 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8, shared with Porsche but tuned the Lamborghini way. 666 horsepower, 0 to 60 in just 3.1 seconds. But the performant version isn't just faster, it's lighter, stiffer, louder, and altogether more feral. Exterior tweaks include a carbon fiber hood, redesigned splitter, and an aggressive rear diffuser. It also gets a titanium Akrapovic exhaust that sings a completely different tune. 1 part thunder, 1 part chainsaw, all terrifyingly good. Step inside, and the theme continues. Hexagonal stitching patterns cover the Alcantara seats. The dash glows with yellow backlit instruments. Giant aluminum paddle shifters await your command behind a flat-bottom steering wheel. And in the center console, the iconic Tamburo drive selector, which lets you toggle between Strada, Sport, Corsa, and even Sabbia for sand driving, because why not? Drive it in Strada and it behaves, sort of. It cruises, it complies. But toggle over to Corsa and it comes alive. Shifts snap violently, the suspension firms. The exhaust barks and growls and spits fire. In Performante trim, the Urus sheds nearly 100 kilograms thanks to extensive use of carbon fiber and reduced sound insulation. Every gram matters. Every input is sharper. It's more than a fast SUV. It's a raging bull in designer sneakers. There's nothing logical about it, and that's precisely the point. Where the Cayenne is a tool, the Urus is a spectacle. And while Italian chaos is addictive, next we enter the future with hybrid power and outrageous design. Number 3. BMW XM Label Red, the Rebel King. BMW hasn't built a standalone M car since the M1 until now. The 2025 XM Label Red is not just fast, it's rebellious. It's a plug-in hybrid with muscle car aggression, spaceship looks, and enough tech to confuse a NASA engineer. Let's start with the headline, 738 horsepower. That comes from a 4.4-liter twin-turbocharged V8 paired with an electric motor, offering all-wheel drive traction and explosive acceleration. 0 to 60? Around 3.6 seconds. Impressive, but the sensation is what counts. In full electric mode, it hums silently for around 30 miles. Perfect for stealthy urban cruising. But switch to hybrid sport, and the V8 awakens with a roar, instantly filling in any torque gaps. It's smooth, brutal, and relentless. Inside, the XM Label Red is like stepping into a sci-fi concept car. The dashboard is dominated by a massive curved display that merges the digital instrument cluster and infotainment system. Beneath your feet, thick carpets and illuminated trim. Above, a 3D printed Alcantara headliner that looks like a modern art piece. BMW even worked with composer Hans Zimmer to design the EV soundtrack. It doesn't buzz, it pulses and swells, adding emotional drama to silent acceleration. But the XM isn't all about performance, it's about presence. Wide fenders, sharp creases, red accents, and an aggressive stance make it look unlike any SUV on the road. You either love it or hate it, but you won't forget it. The label red is not for purists, it's for pioneers, for those who want the roar of a V8 and the whisper of electrons in the same breath. Next up, pure combustion, pure heritage, pure thunder. Number 2. Aston Martin DBX 707 British Thunder. Aston Martin calls it the most powerful luxury SUV in the world, and they're not bluffing. The DBX 707 doesn't just accelerate, it bellows, it glides, it dominates. Under the hood lies a 4.0-liter twin-turbocharged V8 tuned to 707 horsepower, hence the name. 0 to 60? About 3.1 seconds. But that's just the opening movement of a grand symphony. Driving the DBX 707 is like commanding a thoroughbred with manners. The steering is delicate yet direct. The throttle responds with elegance, but hide unrelenting force beneath. It doesn't just go, it moves with purpose. The interior is Aston Martin's signature. Hand-stitched bridge of weir leather, jewel-like switches, and a center console that sweeps around the driver like the cockpit of a fighter jet. It's not just beautiful, it's bespoke. What's more, Aston kept part of the exhaust routing visible underneath, not because they had to, but because they wanted you to see and hear what makes this car sing. Despite all its performance, the DBX 707 remains practical. Room for 5, a sizable cargo bay, adjustable air suspension for comfort or clearance, and yes, it can tow. This isn't just British luxury, it's British muscle with refinement and class, a rare beast in a tailored tuxedo. And now, we reach the top. The crown jewel, the one SUV that doesn't just break the rules, it rewrites them. Number 1. Ferrari Purosangue, the first Ferrari SUV. Ferrari said they'd never do it, but they did, and they did it their way. The 2025 Purosangue is not a compromise, it's a revelation. Under the hood, a naturally aspirated 6.5-liter V12 that revs to 8,250 RPM, 715 horsepower, 0 to 60 in about 3.3 seconds. No turbo lag, no electrification, just pure mechanical magic. The sound alone is worth the price of admission. At idle, it purrs. At full throttle, it screams. A high-pitched wail that climbs with every RPM. It's the kind of noise you feel in your chest. Ferrari engineered the chassis with a front mid-engine layout and a rear transaxle for perfect balance. The suspension is active. It can push individual wheels down into the road to maintain grip. Above 125 miles per hour, the front axle disconnects, turning the Purosangue into a rear-wheel drive missile. Inside, it's driver first. No central screen, just dual cockpits, one for the driver, one for the passenger. Rear seats? Real bucket seats separated by a carbon fiber console. Even the doors are special. Rear hinged, opening like a Rolls-Royce. It's fast, it's ferocious, it's rare, and it's the only SUV on this list with a naturally aspirated V12. It's not a Ferrari that happens to be an SUV, it's a Ferrari, full stop. We started with a whisper from Audi and ended with a scream from Ferrari. These SUVs prove you don't have to choose between speed and space. Which one would you drive? The understated SQ8, the thunderous DBX, or the wild V12-powered Purosangue? Let us know in the comments. And remember, it's 2025, the year SUVs outran everything else on the road.